Well, we're trying something new. Welcome back to Wild Basics. Thank you again for tuning in for another video. You may notice today already feels a little bit different. I'm trying a new system. I'm trying a new idea out. If you watched our last couple videos, you realize we're getting ready to go on deputation. We're going to be traveling a lot. We're going kind of living in and out of hotels, out of suitcases. So quite frankly, I can't bring my YouTube setup with us. I'm not going to have the laptop and the soft light and the camera and all this other stuff, my desk. So I do want to keep this channel going. I want to continue it growing because once we get to the Netherlands, it's going to be a good asset there for us. So I'm testing a new idea. I'm filming just on my phone today. I have a smaller light. I have a different small setup. The idea is I want something that I can do on the road. I want something I can do from hotel rooms or church profit chambers, whatever it is. So that kind of let me know what you think. What does it sound like? What does it look like? I realize it's not going to be the same, so I'm not necessarily going for the same quality, but I want something that's usable, something that's passable. So if you can leave a comment down below what you think about this. The goal of this video is I kind of want to give you my plan, a plan for what the future holds. Now, if you haven't watched the last couple videos, go watch those. Those are going to give you some good background information as to what we're covering here. But I've had a lot of people say, Brother Ty, what's the plan? How long are you going to pastor? When are you stepping down? When are you going to the mission field? When are you going to the Netherlands? All these kind of questions. They're all fair questions. So my goal is to try to answer a lot of those here. I don't know how long the video is going to be because I'm going to try not to chase too many rabbits, which who knows what that means. But very simply, our final Sunday here at Landmark Baptist Church is going to be August 31st. Now that at that point we'll be here about 5 years and 3 months or so. Coming up on 5.5 years, and God's been more than good to us. Again, not going to talk too much about that. That's in the previous video. But August 31st is going to be our final Sunday. Now I'm going to define some terms here because I realize the more people that find out that we're going to be missionaries, the more people that find out we're going to the Netherlands, they don't really know what that entails. They don't really know what the process you have to go through is. So I do want to try to help you out there. Essentially, August 31st is going to be our final Sunday. After that, we're just driving. After that, we are driving across the country. We're going to be local for about a week. We're going to go to church in Burleson. We're going to go to church in Palestine, Texas. And then after that, we're going straight to Georgia. The mission conference in Georgia, and then after that, we're in South Carolina, then North Carolina, then Tennessee, then Missouri. It's been busy, trying to get scheduling together. Now, I will say this, if you're a pastor or church watching, if you would like us to come in and present our ministry, after you get to know us, feel free to call me, reach out to me. I'd love to put you on the schedule. If I know you, hopefully I'll be calling you here relatively soon. It's been busy trying to, get the house on the market, sell that. We've sold about 90% of our stuff last week. So it's been a busy, hectic week, but at the same time, it's been good. So very simply, August 31st, final Sunday. After that, we're hitting the road. We got to go to churches. We realized when we told this to some people, a lot of people thought, beginning of September, we're moving to the Netherlands. You can't really do that. There's not really a logical way to do that. The Netherlands is one of the most densely populated countries in the world. So they don't really want you coming in and working, because that means you're going to take a Dutch job. You're going to take jobs from the Dutch people. So the only way we can get in, I won't go into too much detail, but essentially we have to go in and start our own business. That's the model. Other than that, they're pretty much going to decline your visa. So if you have any questions about that, feel free to call. I'll go into detail. I'm not going to get involved in the internet too much as far as our plan. But very simply, we have to raise support before we go. In other words, we can't go over there and work. We can't work a full-time job. We can't make too much of an income over there. So very simply, when we go, we need to be supported. We need to have the money we need, not only for our family, but also for the church, to rent the property, our house, all that kind of stuff. So in order to do all that kind of stuff, we got to have the money. And in order to get the money, we have to go to church after church after church, presenting the ministry, getting to know the church, letting them ask questions to us. And then over time, we're going to start raising support. And when we hit a certain level of support, that's when we're going to be able to go. So the reason I say all that is that takes time. That takes a lot of time. We're going to need roughly 100 to 120 churches to support us. It kind of depends on how much the support is for, but on average, 100 to 120 churches supporting us. So you got to think that takes more than 2 weeks. That takes more than 3 months. The average missionary right now is taking a little over 3 years to get to the field, based on all the missionaries I've talked to. My goal is 18 months. I would like to do deputation in 18 months. I think it's possible. Now it's going to require churches having us in, supporting us, putting us on the schedule. It's going to require all of that, but we have big goals in the Netherlands. We want to get there. We're excited. We want to reach people. We want to see Dutch people get saved. I want to train Dutch preachers, let them go out and start their own churches and help plant those churches. We have big goals in the Netherlands, but we have to get through deputation first. So the whole point of this video is kind of show you our plan. August 31st is the final Sunday. Right after that, we're going into deputation. Honestly, I've only made probably 3 or 4 phone calls so far regarding meetings and deputation and stuff, because last week was so hectic. This week, I'm planning on making more phone calls, trying to get a schedule put together. Again, if you're a pastor and you would like to have us in, it would be a big help to us if you would call me. And I realize you don't have to, you're not obligated to, but you got to think, I need to call 150 to 200 churches and pastors at some point over the next X amount of months. So if you would call me and allow me to be on your schedule, what a blessing that would be. That would save me a lot of time and energy and mental capacity, and really help us shape our schedule. So again, you don't have to. I understand that. I'm a pastor. I understand that. But at the same time, it would be a massive help to me. If you have an open date, if you have a missions conference you'd like to have us in for, please reach out. We'd love to go ahead and get on that schedule. We'd love to come and see you, present to your church. And really what we want is, I want your church to be a part of what we're doing. Because, just as Paul said, he doesn't necessarily want it for the increase. He doesn't want it necessarily for the financial gain. He wants it so that when you give to him, the fruit that he gains abounds on their account. And that's our goal, is when churches give to missions, I firmly believe when whatever the missionary is able to accomplish through God, that those churches get part of that fruit on their account, because they help support that. They were part of that ministry. So that's what we're excited about, is not only us going to the Netherlands, but also other churches kind of joining forces with us, not only financially, but really with prayer. The Netherlands is a hard country to reach, a very, very, very difficult country to reach. So I say that, and in the future, I'll probably have videos more specific to the Netherlands, because I'll be honest, when I tell people I'm going to the Netherlands, most people would have no idea what that is. Most people are like, okay, what is that? Is that like Holland, or what is that? Short answer is no, it's not Holland. Holland is part of the Netherlands, but it's not Netherlands. But very simple. I'll have videos in the future talking about the Netherlands, and some stats about the Netherlands. And of course, my goal is, as I go to these churches, I would like to be able to do potentially a Q&A type deal where people can ask questions about the country, ask questions about our plans, our goals. But to put it short, we want to go to the Netherlands, we want to plant a church, and we want to use that church to plant more churches. The Netherlands is in desperate need of more good Bible preaching churches. So again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. But that is the plan. We are going to step down August 31st, final Sunday. Then after that, honestly, it's a step of faith. Because as soon as September 1st starts, we don't get paid anymore. There's no more salary. There's no more money coming in. We have to step out on faith, put the few things we own left in our car, drive across the country, live out of the car, live out of hotels for 18 months or so. And we really need prayer, because it's going to be tough. And we got 2 little girls, by the way. They're 5 and 7 years old. They don't even fully understand what's going on. They don't understand the concept of moving. So, right now they're excited because they're ready to get to the Netherlands and see the castles and the trains, and they like the idea of the Netherlands. But at the same time, they're probably not looking forward to the car rides. It's going to be a lot of car rides, long car rides. So we're trying to do our best to make it as vacation-y as possible for them, because it's going to be 18 months at least in a car. So we're going to do our best to help them enjoy it as well. But again, we'd love to hear from you. Leave it down in the comments again how this video feels. It's a little bit more of a rough video. This is mainly testing out the video quality. I'm testing out the audio quality, testing out the lighting. So kind of let me know on that. And as always, if your church or pastor you'd like to have us in, please reach out. And again, I fully realize you're not obligated. It's definitely my responsibility to reach out to you. But at the same time, it would be a big help on my end. I've made probably 3 calls so far. but I have about 16 meetings so far planned up. So far, a good amount of pastors have been reaching out to me on their own. And I can tell you that is a massive blessing on my end. So if you'd like to help us out, that's one of the best ways to do it. One thing we'll get into eventually as well, as we mentioned in the last video, a big way to help out for free. And maybe you're not a church, you're not a pastor, you just want to help out our ministry, you want to help us get to the Netherlands. All you got to do is subscribe to the channel. Because eventually this is going to be part of our business model getting into the country. So the more subscribers, the more views, the more watch time, all those YouTube analytics, all that stuff is going to help in the future. So if you'd like to help for free, simply subscribe. Of course, please be praying for us. We'll definitely appreciate that. I hope you have a good day today, and God bless.